Easy here. Good morning, guys. Well, I thought I'd have you with breakfast for breakfast with me, and we're gonna have pancakes. Actually, well, we won't go through the whole story of making the pancakes, but these are whole wheat pancakes. There's going to be 4 grains. Now, the first one is something in German they call dinkel. Dinkel is another type of wheat. I think in English we call it wheat berries. If you can notice, they're kind of long and a bit of a different, well, they're the same shape, but they're just longer and fatter. This here is wheat. You can see the difference, just normal wheat. The next one is barley. So barley is more white, actually. This is not pot barley, I mean this still has the skin. And oats, like good old oatmeal. I'll make that once with you when I make porridge, but mixed with different grains. So this will be the 4 grains that'll go into my faithful flour mill. So I'm going to weigh it out and we'll be back in a bit. Okay, so here you've got the grains that I've weighed out, and it's going to be the same thing as you saw in the last vid. Just going to pour it in here and make the flour. So I won't put you through the whole thing this time, because of course this will take a bit longer. So we Okay, so here's the flour, and I'm not going to bore you with a pancake recipe. I mean, I'm not Aunt Jemima, I'm just Uncle DC here, but it's just the usual things. I mean, eggs, baking powder, milk, some oil, and sugar, and maybe a bit of vanilla. And like I say, we'll see. We'll be back when I'll be cooking a bit. Okay, the mixture, and one cooking. So if you expect to see me though flipping it up as you see on TV, or maybe some of you can do, no, forget it, I don't do that very much. And just an offside here. For those who do Indian cooking, these are papadums, which are some things that you actually fry. It's kind of Indian, I'd almost call them Indian crisps for the Brits, or potato chips, but it's not potato chips, but you know, it becomes nice and crispy like that. Back to the pancake. Okay, well, I'll show you a bit later on, because this is about as interesting as seeing paint dry, isn't it? Okay, so we're getting there. This is one of those pancakes. Looks good. Okay, well, actually one of the reasons today was not really to talk about cooking pancakes and things like that. It was a bit about things going on in life, memories, and so on. I was walking Dago earlier, as is usually the case on weekends, and I had a kind of a funny thought. I was thinking about a few years back, well, actually, we were discussing a group about memories. Souvenirs, what do you think of? I mean, what is your first recall, you could say? And when I was a kid, actually, my first recall was, I'd almost call it creature of light. What I mean by that is I have this souvenir, this memory of an elderly person, all in white, seemed to me kind of shining a bit, putting his hand toward me. Now, for many years I wondered what that was. Of course, I mean, you could imagine at first, oh yes, a vision of God and so on, or an angel. And talking with my dad once, we actually figured out what it was at one point. Because I mentioned this. Funnily enough, I never mentioned this before. But after I mentioned this, he said, well, I can tell you what it is. When you were 2 years old, well, not quite 2 years old actually, 18 months, he says you were at the hospital. He says your granddad, so my dad's father, was on his deathbed. And this was in the hospital, and he had this white tunic on. And so the angel, if I could say, was my granddad. And I've often thought how, this is pretty significant, because in a way, what this means is that I was seeing my past, in a way, as part of my future. Now, where I'm getting to that is that these visions of people in white, which are often taken with angelic beings, heaven, so on, as far as I'm concerned, they're pictures of the future. And I was looking at the past, bringing me into the future. Now, that's pretty important because in a way, we're all molded by our past, molded by the people who took care of us, who nurtured us, and we're molded also by the people who gave us a bad time. Let's not forget that. So I'll see if I have enough time for you to eat pancakes with me later on. But I'm not going to tag anybody, but it would be nice if you also posted up a vid, or put it in the comments, about what are your first memories, your first souvenirs. What do you remember first, earliest on in life? I mean, there's other things. I think I'll bring up a few bits of early stories like this. But what are those first things, and did they have any influence on your life? Okay, so I'm not saying that I'm signing off yet. Depends on how much time's left. But I'll be back with you at breakfast. So let me just turn this off. See you later. Okay, I'm back. Won't be with you very long actually, but put this too much, but actually you can see it. It's the pancakes with maple syrup. And the maple syrup is pretty special as well. It was made by my dad. If you go back to my Father's Day video, you'll see actually a picture of his homemade sugar, maple syrup rig. Well, I guess that I put off the topic that I wanted to chat about, and now I'll be taking some tea and my pancakes, and I hope you also have a good breakfast, and we will get back. I mean, I think that every now and then we'll have a little breakfast chat. Won't always be a breakfast chat when I'm cooking. It can also be a breakfast chat like the last time when we're just eating and talking together. So for all of you, have a nice day. This is DC, signing off.